Okay, Miss Lila, thank you for meeting with me today. And we're going to just discuss some things that we talked about last time and review some of the goals that we went over, and also just talk about how they worked for you and talk about any other thing that you may have on your mind right now. Okay? All right, so before we begin, I want to talk to you about confidentiality. So what that means is, we kind of talked about this last time. What it means is, whatever we talk about here in our session, I can't discuss with anybody else. It just stays between you and I, okay? But if you tell me something, very important, or something that could potentially be of harm to others, or potentially harm you, then I do have to let somebody know. So I came up with a little statement for us to look at together. And it says, your confidentiality as a student is important. In our school counseling sessions, what it said here stays here. But the following exceptions as required by law and or ethical standards. So if you let me know that you're going to harm yourself or others, okay, then I have to tell. Or if it involves abuse, I have to tell. Or court or something that's going on legally, then I have to let another adult know that can help us out, okay? So I will let you know in advance if I have to tell. So I would let you know and say, hey, remember how we talked about this? I need to talk to somebody else about it, okay, just to let them know. So, but I want to respect your wishes and your needs and your privacy too. So that is how that would work if I did need to tell somebody, okay? So what happens, and we talk about whatever stays between us, but unless it's something important. Okay, so I'm going to have you sign this, and I'll sign it too, just so we're both aware. Thank you. Okay. All right, so let's talk a little bit about what we discussed last time with our goals. Okay, so we talked about math goals, and we talked about reading and writing goals. How are those going for us? You want to start off with one of them that we talked about?
Writing. I actually really, since we've been doing our personal narratives, I've actually gotten to like them better than as I did before.
You like them better than you did before.
And when we were writing our personal narratives for the one that you're gonna grade for us, I filled up 4 pages. So
4 pages?
So I had to cross out some of the stuff that we have to put on the paper because we can only do 1 page.
Wow, so it sounds like you had a lot to write about in your personal narrative this time. Tell me a little bit more about that.
Well, the story was that when I went to Jackson Hole with my friend Faith, they go to our dance studio, or my dance studio, and they invite us pretty much every summer. That year we were going biking, and we saw a really steep hill. And me and my brother and Faith's brother, we all went up it, but Faith was too scared to. And I fell off, and I had to get a glue on my head. Like I have to get the glue instead of the stitches to get it back together. So.
Oh my goodness. You must be pretty tough. How did you feel when that happened?
It hurt because I hit it on the street. And it kind of felt like, I kind of felt dizzy when it happened, so.
Oh man, I bet that hurt so bad. You're really tough. So you actually got to write about that story in your personal narrative. That's excellent. So you said one of your goals last time was to write personal narratives more. So how did that work for you last time when we talked about how we would accomplish that? You said that you wanted to like them more, and we would do that by
writing more.
Writing more. Yeah. Good. I'm so glad that you feel like that got accomplished a little bit more. Let's talk about your math goal then.
Last time we talked, my last goal was to, I think it was to get better at multiplication.
Mm-hmm.
And at my math group that I do in the morning, we do a multiplication chart, and it's all like mixed up. We did a mixed one, and then we did one that's in order.
Yeah.
And I got all of them correct.
You did.
And then when we did our multiplication quiz today, I got all mine correct also.
Wow, that's excellent. Sounds like you're improving a lot at multiplication. So that goal sounds like that helped you too. Very good. Well, towards the end of our session too, we can go back and talk about some goals that we want to maybe, since these worked for you, how we can improve upon these goals, or maybe some other goals that you want to make. There was one more goal we did, and that was reading. How's your reading going?
It's good. Sometimes when I'm at home, when I read either after I dance or after school, I read to myself for about 20 minutes, and then sometimes my brother will read out loud to me, or I'll read out loud to him.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Okay, so when your brother reads out loud to you, is he reading aloud your book or his book?
My book.
Okay, so but when you're reading aloud to him, then you're reading
my book.
Your book. Okay, I see. So how do you feel that that's helping you in reading?
'Cause like some words that are in there are kind of tough, and if I hear the words out of his mouth, maybe I can, if I see them again, I can actually figure out the word.
Okay, so if you hear him say it, then it's easier for you to be able to figure out the word. Okay, good. So we said last time that, practicing fluency and finding books that are just right for us will help us to grow.
Yes.
So how do you feel about that goal and where we might need to go from there?
I think it's good because after I finished one of the books that I finished like a week ago, it was called Miss Daisy's Crazy.
Okay.
And I read all of it to my mom, or I read it in my head, and then I usually only read 20 minutes for like 15 pages, or 30 minutes for 20 pages.
So it sounds like you're really improving on your skills and how long you read for. Good. Well, we can revisit that too towards the end of our session. I'm going to write that down. Good. Okay, so let's talk about some things that are going on with you. Is there anything that you want to discuss in particular?
Well, at the bike rodeo today, when I was riding on the field, we had to stop at some point because everyone was going out of the field.
Right.
And someone went really fast in front of me and my friend. And her bike, it kind of like slid to this side where I was, and it scraped my leg, and it's swollen. So, and then today after school, me and my friend Reagan, we're going to see a movie called The Terrible, Horrible, No Good, Very Bad Day. I think it was with Alexander.
Okay.
Is one of the characters, and that his name is in the title. I can't remember the whole thing because it's a really long title. So.
Okay. Let's go back and talk about what you just said before. You said that when you were at bike rodeo today, that y'all were walking and somebody rode their bike in front of you really fast. Okay, tell me more about what happened with that, because it sounds like what you're saying is it scared you and it wasn't a nice thing to do.
Yeah, because there was a stop sign and the PE coach said if there's a stop sign, you have to stop.
Okay.
And we were stopping at the stop sign, and I kind of like tripped, so my legs came off of the bike seat.
Right.
And so I was standing kind of by my bike and about to get back on. And so Bo, he's one of the boys, and I don't think he saw the stop sign because he like rode really fast in front of us, and my friend Greer, her bike kind of ran into my leg, and it got scraped, and it was swollen. So.
Oh man, that sounds like it hurt pretty bad. So, how did you feel when that all happened? When he rode in front of you, did you know that it was going to happen like that?
Not really, because when the PE teacher said to everyone to stop when there's a stop sign, it kind of made me think, oh, because there's a person holding the stop sign.
Right.
Maybe they will stop and I will get hurt or something.
Right.
So.
Oh my goodness, that sounds like y'all had a dangerous run-in, but everybody ended up being okay. Well, good. That kind of makes me think about, I know you said you do a lot of things with your friends on the weekends, right? And you're hanging out with a friend tonight and going to see a movie, you said. Let's talk more about your friends and how our friendships are going at school.
Sometimes we go to places together and we play together a lot after school. Yeah. And Greer and Casey, they're in my class, and they usually come with me on Mondays, or I go with them, or we get together on the dance days that we have dance on, and it's usually Mondays and Wednesdays because we have them at 4:30 and 5:30. Okay. And then on Fridays, today I don't have any dance because we have a substitute and our teachers are out of town. Oh. So I get to hang out with a different friend today.
Hang out with a different friend today.
And then tomorrow morning at 10, I have dance.
Yeah. So on the weekends when you are with your friends, do y'all usually stay the night together, or did they come over for a little while and then go home?
Well, if it's like yesterday, I had a friend over and she stayed until 7:30ish, and then my mom took her home and I went to eat dinner with my dad. Oh, okay. And then if it's like Friday or if it's on a weekend, they usually spend the night.
Oh, okay. So you're saying that they spend the night with you, right? Do you ever go spend the night with other people?
Yeah. But since my mom has been gone, I wanted to stay with her or stay at my house because I was with my dad for those few days. So I wanted to just be at home. But I do go to people's houses most of the time.
You do? Yeah. How do you feel about spending the night with your friends?
Sometimes I want to stay and have a sleepover. Sometimes I don't really feel comfortable in their house, and my mom comes and picks me up or they take me home.
So you don't feel comfortable at other friends at some people's houses?
I have some friends that their houses I'm more comfortable in because I've stayed at their house more. But my other friend, her house is new, and I wasn't really comfortable, so my mom picked me up at her house.
So you weren't comfortable staying over there because her house is new?
Yeah. And I wasn't used to it that much,
So it sounds like you want to be used to staying in someone's house. You want to have been there before and have you know the house and have your mom know the house maybe, and you're more comfortable doing that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what do you think causes that? What do you think causes you to feel, I know you said the new house, but is there anything else that causes you outside of that to feel?
Maybe if me and my friends got in a fight, I wouldn't really want to hang out with them because we would be either mad at each other or upset with each other. So I would either just we would either just watch TV or just hang out, or I would go home.
Yeah. Does that happen? How often would you say that happens, where you go over to a friend's house and spend the night and then you just want to go home?
Not mostly I want to go home, but sometimes I just, like if I had to sleep over 2 nights in a row, like if I had one tonight and the next night, I would like want to be at home that night because I had 2 sleepovers in a row, so.
Yeah, so it sounds like you really like being at home.
Yeah.
You like being around mom and brother and y'all being together. Let's revisit something that you just talked about with Dad, because last time we talked about how mom was out of town, and were you staying with Dad at Dad's house?
Yeah.
Right? So how did that go? Tell me about that.
It went pretty well, but he told me that when I was doing my math homework and I needed help, sometimes I would ask him and he would not get the problem, or when I didn't get the problem, and like if he didn't know what that meant, like we were doing this new strategy, and he didn't really get it because he hadn't learned that when he was a kid.
Right.
So I told my teacher that some of the problems wouldn't be finished.
Right.
So
Yeah. So how was it different than when mom's home?
she was a teacher before I was born, so I guess she probably knew a little more because she was more experienced with helping me, and so.
So you feel like mom is more experienced and can help you more and understands more of what you're doing?
Yeah.
How else were things different with Dad other than homework?
Well, there's this TV show that me and my mom and my brother and my dad like to watch, and it was like probably 8:30 when I got home, so we did my homework until like maybe 9ish, and then I got in my bed, and before that I watched TV in the living room, and then I went into my bed. So
How is that different from your regular schedule at home?
because I usually get home a little, we would usually watch TV, and during the commercials my mom would be at the TV, and then we wouldn't be up as late.
So what time do you go to bed at home?
9:30ish.
Okay. So it sounds like your schedule was just different. You stayed up a little bit later at Dad's house. Your homework wasn't as organized, and it just was a little different. How do you feel about having those differences when you're at mom's and then when you go to Dad's and back and forth?
Well, I only go to his house every other weekend. So when we started it, I was with my dad the first weekend, then with my mom a week, and then a weekend, because my dad doesn't live that close to the school, so it's easier to get to school on time when I'm at my mom's house.
Yeah, so it's easier. Sounds like it's just easier overall.
Yeah.
You're saying that, you're closer.
Yeah.
It's just more convenient for you. Yeah. So when you go to Dad's house, I know you mentioned last time that you have babysitters sometimes when you go to Dad's house.
Yeah, kind of. Like, I would have either the housekeeper that we have, or I would have one of my dad's friends babysit.
One of your dad's friends.
Yeah.
How does that work for you?
Well, sometimes my dad has some friends at work, and from his work, it's like it's kind of far from his house, and he has some friends that are girls there, and he has them babysit us. So Gannon would just play video games, and I would get to watch TV with her.
Okay. So it sounds like you know the people that come to babysit with you. So how do you feel having them there?
Comfortable.
You feel comfortable and safe having them at your dad's house. What about when you're with mom? Do you have babysitters a lot when you're with mom?
Yeah, but most of the time she doesn't really go out, only if like she either goes out to lunch or on the weekends she'll go out. And we'll probably have Megan. She's like the front desk person at Powerhouse, my dance studio, and she babysits sometimes for us. And then we have another babysitter, but she didn't want to do it anymore. So
She didn't want to do it anymore. So how do you feel about having those babysitters when you're with Mom?
Some of them I don't feel comfortable with. Some of them I feel really comfortable with, because I've known Megan since I was 2, so I feel really comfortable with her.
You feel really comfortable with Megan. That's good. Okay, so you said when you're with your babysitters at home, some of them you feel comfortable with, and some of them you don't. Can you tell me a little bit more about the babysitters that you feel comfortable with and ones you don't feel comfortable with?
Well, there's my mom's friend. She was going out to eat with her for one of her friend's birthday.
Yeah.
And I was with a friend, and I called my mom and she didn't answer, so I called my dad, and he tried to get a hold of my mom. So and she was on her way to the party, and then she came and picked me up and bring me to our house, my mom's house.
Yeah.
And my mom's friend's babysitter came for her kids.
Okay.
And I didn't really know her that well, so I wasn't really comfortable with her. So.
Okay. So you really just, sounds like when you feel like you know the babysitter, then you're okay staying at home with them by yourself. So tell me about the babysitter that you had a few weeks, or maybe it was at the beginning of the summer. Did something happen with your babysitter at home?
So, in the summer, I had a babysitter, and she went to our dance studio, and she had a boyfriend, and they babysat us. And one time we were at the house, and Gannon was playing on his phone, and Jamie, she's the girl that was there, she told us that my mom said that we had to clean the house. And I don't think my mom would say that. My mom said that she didn't say that. So she told us we had to clean the house. So I was like, okay. So Gannon went and cleaned his room. And Jamie cleaned the kitchen. And me and Greer went upstairs and cleaned my room. And Raheel, he was Jamie's boyfriend, he was cleaning my mom's closet and my mom's room. So he was in my mom's closet, and me and Greer were in my room, and we were trying to make the bed, but we couldn't really do it.
Right.
So we just put the pillows on the bed, and he said that he'll make the bed. So we went downstairs and helped Jamie, and Gannon went upstairs and asked Raheel what he was doing, and Raheel said, I'm cleaning, do you think I would steal from you guys? And that didn't really make sense to Gannon, so he just went downstairs and was playing video games in his room. So when my mom got home, Raheel and Jamie had left, and because Raheel accidentally locked the keys in Jamie's car, so her dad, Jamie's dad, brought the extra key or something to unlock the car. So they left, and then Greer spent the night. In the morning, my mom got up to get ready because we were going to go to Mustang Donuts and get donuts. And she went in her closet, and things were piled on the floor, and 3 of her watches were gone, and my phone was gone. And $40 that I earned was gone. Because my mom called the police, and Jamie came over when the police was there, and she gave back 2 of the watches and some of the other jewelry, but there was 4 other watches that were the ones that she didn't know were gone, and Raheel had sold them to a guy. And we went to the police station and my mom had to sign these papers and stuff like that. And her mom, Jamie's mom, works at the dance studio, and she's like at the front desk also. Right. And Jamie, she got kicked off of the hip hop team that she was on because Gannon, my brother, he was on the hip hop team, and Mr. Sonny is the owner of Powerhouse, and he said that Jamie shouldn't be around Gannon when he's at rehearsal, and that's just something that happened with a babysitter that I wasn't comfortable with.
That had to be pretty scary for you.
And so my dad, obviously, he got me a new phone, and then so I'm trying to earn back my $40. So the stuff that's still gone that Raheel must have sold to a pawn shop or something, the dad's gonna pay us back for all the money that it was. It was like $2,000.
I mean, how did you feel about all of that? That was your stuff.
So I felt bad that, because my mom's wedding band, he stole that, and I felt bad because my dad was upset about that, and so was my mom, because she still keeps the wedding ring and the wedding band that my dad gave to her, but she just doesn't wear it because she's not married to him anymore. So that's that story.
That's that story. So I can imagine that made you pretty scared. How did that make you feel about staying with babysitters after that?
My mom felt a little uncomfortable leaving the house without us. So she just got Megan to do it because she knows Megan really well and she knows Megan would do that.
Right. So it sounds like, you know, having babysitters that you know and trust is something that's really important to you.
Yeah, and I thought that they were actually my friends, but they stole stuff from me also, not just my mom.
So that's a really good point that you just made. So friends don't steal from you.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
And if they were actually your true friends, they wouldn't steal from you.
Yeah. You made a really good point. If they were true friends, they wouldn't steal because true friends don't treat others like that. Well, that had to be very scary for you, and I can see now why you want to be comfortable with a babysitter and who you stay with and why your mom is picky. So how do you feel now after that's all over and that's happened?
I feel more safe because they're not allowed to be around me. They're not allowed to be at Powerhouse when I'm at Powerhouse. So they just got, they're not allowed to come to Powerhouse when I'm there. So I'm pretty much there every day because my brother, he goes on Thursdays and Fridays, and I go on Mondays and Wednesdays. And then I go on Saturdays also, and that's pretty much every day. So
it sounds like y'all are there every day.
And she was probably there the days that Gannon was there because they were on the same team.
So you feel safe being at Powerhouse and at dance now, and feel like that was a good thing for them to be asked not to come back on the days that y'all are there. Well, you're very brave for being there when all that happened and telling about it, and I know that had to be very hard for you, right? Well, you know, now with babysitters that you have, you know, you talked about friends and you talked about how you'd known them for a long time, and you said that friends do not steal from you, and you were absolutely right. How does that carry over to your friendships and how you look at your friendships at school and outside of school?
Well, I know that the kids that are in my class wouldn't steal from me because they're not like grown people, or they're not like adults or teenagers or something, and I know that they wouldn't do that.
Right.
So I feel like, they are my friends, and I don't think they would do that to me because I've known the triplets, Shea, Blair, and Eve, since I was, and Greer's, since I was 2, because I went to this place called Little Gym.
Okay.
So, and I know their parents really well. So.
You know their parents really well. So that sounds like something, you've said a few times that's important to you is that, being around somebody for a long time, being comfortable around someone, and so you are really trusting with the people that you've known for a long time and have had those close friendships with. So what about making new friends? Have you experienced that this year?
Yes. I made a new friend, and his name is Campbell. He's in my class. And there's also a girl named Lauren, and she has a twin brother named Blake, and I know them. And then there's a new girl named Jordan that I know.
So how has that been going with making new friends?
Good, but I don't really get to hang out with them because a lot of them are boys, a lot of them are girls. So, and they have their group that they always play with, and I have the triplets and Casey and Greer that I usually play with. But and sometimes there's a new girl named Rachel. I play with her also on the playground and stuff.
So it sounds like you're saying that everyone has their own group of friends, and
they some of them play basketball, some of them play on the monkey bars, some of them are gymnastics people, and they do flexible stuff.
Okay, so you're saying at recess, that's when y'all are playing.
Yeah.
You talked about the new kids, and then everyone has their own groups.
Yeah, because some of the new kids, like Jack, he was here in kindergarten, first grade, and second grade, and he left. I think he was to go. I think he went somewhere, and they just thought that they would stay at that place for the rest of school in third grade.
Okay.
And then he came back to Armstrong.
And then he came back to Armstrong. So is he still hanging out with his same group of friends?
Well, some of his friends left the school last year that he doesn't really know about because he wasn't here last year. And but he has a group of boys that play basketball, and he plays basketball with them.
So how do you handle situations like that when you know that someone's here at school and they had a group of friends and then they left? So when you see someone at recess that doesn't have a friend or isn't playing with somebody, how do you handle situations like that?
I'd probably just go over to them and I would ask if they wanted to play with me or if they wanted to play with my friends. And so if they were by themselves just sitting down somewhere, I would go and ask them if they wanted to play with us.
So it sounds like you're really inclusive. You include other people and you make sure that everybody feels like they're welcome to play. Do you feel like you see other students doing that? How do you handle situations when you see, students that maybe aren't as open to others playing with them?
I would either go if someone was sitting down and it was a boy, and none of the boys asked if he wanted to play with them or if he wanted to come play basketball with them, I would go over to him and say, why don't you just go over there and ask to play instead of just sitting here waiting for someone to come ask you. Or if it was a boy that I knew, I would either go, if it was a boy that I didn't know, I would go tell one of my friends that's a boy, why don't you go ask him if he wants to play with you guys or something like that.
So you feel comfortable going and asking other students?
Yeah, there's this boy in this Kudos class, his name is Frank, and I've known him for a long time. So if I saw someone sitting out and it was a boy, or he was just kind of sad or he didn't want to play with anyone, or no one wanted to play with him. And I would have gone and asked Frank or someone that I knew really well that was a boy and see if they wanted to go ask him if he wanted to play with them.
So it sounds like you feel it's your job as being a good friend to make sure you're including those students that don't have anybody to play with. That's very nice of you to do. So when you're playing with, your new friends at recess, or you see people that aren't being included, it sounds like you are really making sure that they feel comfortable and that they feel welcome and are very inclusive of others. So I know that some, people have a harder time with that than others. So have you ever encountered a friend that didn't want to play or have someone new play with y'all?
Well, one time, when I was in preschool, it was either kindergarten or preschool, there was a new girl, and her name was Faith. I had already known her since I was like 2 or 3, and we had already known each other, and she didn't really want to play with anyone that much because she was kind of felt left out because one of the newer girls was playing with everyone, and I think she just wanted to be alone for that recess time. And there was a girl, and she was kind of rude or kind of bossy, and she made Faith come up and play with us, and she didn't want to. So I just walked away and played with some other friends, and then a few minutes later, Faith was still sitting on the thing, so I just asked her if she wanted to play with some other friends that she knew, because so she said yes, so we went and played with some of my other friends and not the girl that was kind of bossing us around.
So you, when all that happened, you walked away.
Yeah.
And then
I'm not going to get into this drama.
So it sounds like you took control of the situation and you wanted to help. So I love that you think about other people like that. So how would you feel about maybe setting a goal for helping others? You made a comment earlier about how there's different groups of kids and everyone plays separately. Yeah. How would you feel about setting a goal about something that might help bring everyone together?
Maybe to, if there was a group of girls waiting to go somewhere like the tire swing, it's usually really crowded. There was a group of girls waiting to go on the tire swing. We could say, hey, why don't you come over on the merry-go-round with us? It's kind of like the tire swing.
Right.
So, and maybe they didn't want to, or they wanted to go with us on the playground or on the merry-go-round.
How do you think that would help?
It would help because there's usually a lot of people on the merry-go-round or on the tire swing because they like to spin around and stuff.
Yeah.
But the tire swing, I don't like the tire swing because it goes too fast.
It goes too fast.
And the merry-go-round is kind of just calm.
Right.
And so and it's bigger, so everyone can fit on it.
Perfect. I like that goal. So let's think about friendship, like you said. And I'm going to let you write down a goal that you think would be good, because I know that you feel like you are just excellent at helping others, and you definitely are. So you set a goal that we can do is to bring everybody together and ask other students to come play with you if they're waiting to play on another piece of equipment. Good. So write down whatever goal you think would be good for you as a helper of bringing people together, bringing students together.
Miss Bishop?
Yes?
Hey, I need Seth Pinto, please.
Okay, they're in Miss Merrick's room right now.
Pardon me?
They're in Miss Merrick's room right now. I will send him. So you said your goal is to ask if they want to play with us on other equipment. That is an excellent goal, and just to make sure that everyone's included. And so, since you are such a helper and like to include other people, how would you feel about, helping your friends to be the same way?
I could tell them, hey, why don't we go ask them if they want to come play on another thing with us, or if they want to come play with us this game that we were playing. Like sometimes on the field, there's not equipment, there's just a field. Mm-hmm. And I would ask my friends if they wanted to come play on there.
Okay, so this goal I think is excellent, and what you just said about helping your friends to bring others together would be great for you to work on too. Okay, so today in our session we talked about friendship. We talked about our goals from last session where we talked about math goals, and we talked about reading and writing goals. And you said that you still want to stick with some of those goals and see how we develop from there and revisit them. Okay, good. And we talked about, your babysitter situations and feeling comfortable and, going back and forth between mom and dad's house, and how brave you are, and you're such a compassionate young woman, and I'm just very proud of you for handling all of your situations very well. So tell me how you feel about the sessions that we've had the past 2 times that we've discussed what's been going on with you.
I think I've completed some of the goals that we made last time.
Okay.
And I think that if we ever talked again, that we could see if I got those goals back to where, like, if I completed those goals, or I did those goals and I, completed them in ways that I could complete them in.
So do you want to meet again in maybe a few weeks and discuss our goals some more?
Your choice.
Okay.
I don't really.
Oh, that'd be great. I would love to meet with you again and, talk about the goals that we made today and the goals that we had last time and see where we're at, and maybe we can make some new goals depending on if we've met our goals. And you just said that you feel like you've met some of your goals for writing and math and reading, so we can create some new goals for sure. So what did I do that worked for you in the session?
We talked about how I liked how we talked about friendships with all my friends in my class, and me completing the goal that we made last time for writing. So
good. Well, I'm glad that we got to talk about those goals and revisit some of the ones we did last time, and I want you to still continue to try to meet those, and we'll definitely get to talk about them again for sure. So we're almost done with our time here today. Is there anything else that you would like to discuss before we close our session?
Not really.
Okay, good. Well, next time we meet, we can review goals. We can see where we're at. We can set everything and see if you need to set new ones and what we accomplished. Okay? So I want to share a book with you before we are completely done that I found about friendship. It's called Scaredy Squirrel Makes a Friend, and we have a squirrel named Scaredy. So read this book together and see how he handles his friendships. It says, warning, Scaredy Squirrel insists that everyone brush their teeth with germ-fighting toothpaste before reading his book. Scaredy Squirrel makes a friend. Scaredy Squirrel doesn't have a friend. He'd rather be alone than risk encountering someone dangerous. A squirrel could get bitten. A few individuals Scaredy Squirrel is afraid to be bitten by. Walruses, bunnies, beavers, piranhas, and Godzilla. So Scaredy Squirrel finds interesting ways to pass the time all by himself. He reads, he whistles, he knits, he chats, he crafts, he yawns, he counts, until one day he spots someone perfectly safe. The perfect friend, according to Scaredy Squirrel, has a bubbly personality, quiet, no teeth, and squeaky clean, germ-free. Doesn't do much, but is 100% safe. A few items Scaredy Squirrel needs to make the perfect friend. Lemon, a name tag, mittens, a comb, mirror, air freshener, toothbrush, and a chew toy. How to make the perfect first impression. Prepare freshly squeezed lemonade. Make sure your name tag is visible. Tame bad hair. Brush teeth thoroughly and practice smile. Check for nutty breath and food caught between teeth. Wear mittens to hide sweaty paws. And use pine scent to smell delightful. And then follow the perfect plan. Step 1, toss down chew toy to distract biters. Biters. Step 2, use mirror to check hair and teeth. Step 3, run to fountain. Step 4, point to name tag and smile. Step 5, offer lemonade. Step 6, make the perfect friend. Don't talk to suspicious bunnies. Stay away from piranha-infested ponds. Beware of walruses. They're fast on their flippers. Avoid beavers that could snap at any moment. And watch out for Godzilla for obvious reasons. But let's say, just for example, that Scaredy Squirrel did come face to face with a potential biter. He knows exactly what not to do. Do not show fear. Do not show your fingers. Do not make eye contact. Do not make any loud noises. And if all else fails, play dead. And hand over the test. Scaredy's risk test. Who are you? How many teeth do you have? What's your hobby? What do you see? A friend or something to bite? So what is he afraid of?
Things that bite.
Things that bite. He's afraid he's going to get bit by a friend. With every detail under control, Scaredy Squirrel puts the plan into action. First, he tosses the chew toy. Then he heads down the tree, and everything is perfect until he hears a strange sound coming from behind. Squeak! And he realizes objects in the mirror are closer than they appear. He realizes it's a dog. This was not part of the plan. The dog chases Scaredy around the bush and around the fountain and around in circles until Scaredy Squirrel plays dead. 30 minutes later, still playing dead. 1 hour later, still playing dead. 2 hours later, still playing dead. After all this time, Scaredy Squirrel realizes the dog doesn't want to bite him. The dog just wants a friend. Scaredy Squirrel points to his name tag and smiles. Then he starts chasing his new buddy. They play fetch, they play hide and seek, and they play dead. Scaredy Squirrel forgets all about the goldfish, not to mention walruses, bunnies, beavers, piranhas, and Godzilla. Time flies when you're having fun. All this excitement inspires Scaredy Squirrel to make a few minor changes to his idea of a friend. Almost perfect friend, according to Scaredy Squirrel. Muddy paws, loud bark, drool, tooth, wet doggy smell, and lots of germs. 83% safe, but lots of fun. P.S. As for the wet doggy smell, it's been taken care of. With the pine scent. So I like this book because it just kind of shows how we have to step out of our box. We have to kind of step out of what we're comfortable with in friendships to make new friends. And you've done such a great job at including others. And I love your goal of wanting to bring others together. So thank you for meeting with me today. And we'll get to talk again in a couple of weeks and discuss your goals some more.
Okay.
Thank you.